Please do not react. I think we need to unpack a few things right off the top. And remember, someone is always watching.
Hello and good evening. It is February 27th, 2022, and we are ready to kick off another season of Big Brother Canada, the 10th, if you will. I'm Dave Mader, joined here on Super Mader Brothers podcasting with my brother Jeff and with Jaemeel Robinson to break down this cast, these 16 revealed house guests for Big Brother Canada 10. We also have a draft that we are kind of unfolding as we learn about these house guests. 2 picks have already been made. Jeff is studying to he's the 3rd pick, so he's getting ready for that. So, I'm so bright. That's good. Okay, so guys, it's coming up this Wednesday, March the 2nd will be the premiere of the show, and there are 16 Canadians like ourselves who are getting ready to play Big Brother Canada. Jaemeel, are you excited?
I'm always excited when it comes to Big Brother Canada. It's like a fresher breath air when you get the cast. You're like, wow, it doesn't suck like the American one does. And not to completely crap on last year's, but there was a couple of duds in the last one. At least this one is a little bit more eccentric. At times a little too eccentric, but we'll see how it all pans out. I'm very excited. Let's see it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go, as KC would say. And Jeff Mader, I know, well, as he's labeled himself here tonight, the Big Brother Canada super fan. Although that's a little bit in jest, as you have always been a true faithful to the American version, but always kind of contending that the Canadian product may be inferior by comparison. So we're gonna find out.
I would never say such things. I'm a BBCAN super fan, Dave. I'm here for the show and nothing else. That's all I need to say about
he's a
that.
Dimitri Stan. Stan.
He's a Dimitri Stan?
Yeah, he is.
Or a Victoria Stan, perhaps, from last season.
It's war. Come for me, I'm coming for you.
Yes.
I love a good mess.
A good mess. And I think we got some potential in this season of Big Brother Canada. So as we had mentioned, there are 2 house guests that have already been drafted in our group of 8. There's the 3 of us here tonight, and then Jeff and I's respective spouses. We also have Daryl Clark, who opts out of this particular one because he doesn't get Big Brother Canada.
He's afraid.
Even though he's Canadian, but I guess just too hard in West Virginia for him to get it. And then we have Sean and Jen as well. And Sean and Jen have already picked, as they ended up with the first 2 picks. So I thought maybe we could start with our first overall draft pick, talking about this particular house guest. And Jen was the one who had that pick, and she took Jessica Gowling, a 35-year-old visual artist from Cranbrook, British Columbia. What can we learn here about Jessica? She calls herself an eccentric visual artist and superfan, trying to slip under the radar by playing a cool, calm, and collected social game. But underneath it all, Jessica has a master plan to outwit the competition and claim the crown.
Okay. Why are all of them like, I have this master plan to hypnotize with them with my social game? Or I'm just like, all their bios are the same. It's a little bit lame.
Yeah, well,
to be fair, that's a lot of what is expected of them, and oftentimes people have had the strategy. We've noticed it for the last couple of seasons where people say kind of a generic, kind of statement during their interviews, and then when you get to the show, you kind of really see the rubber hits the road, in better words, I should say. So don't take it too harshly. What I'm looking at with what is being said is how they differentiate themselves, and also during some of the videos you can see how they present their thoughts and feelings and how well they communicate that. Jessica,
first of all, with Jessica here, I'm a little questioning 2 things. One, is she a tracer? And 2,
tracer,
you effing tracer,
fucking tracer, and
mother's a tracer.
Yeah, your mother's mother was a tracer.
Around your dead fucking body.
Second thing, tarot cards. Really? That's all. That's
She
it.
mentioned. Yeah. I think eccentric, is the right word here. That's the impression I'm getting of Jessica, is that she's kind of, she's a little bit quirky, maybe a little bit different. And it'll be interesting to see who she allies with. But she comes across as maybe like not a more traditional sort of like the Barbie and Ken type players that we might see in other seasons, if you will.
I think she's gonna gel just really well with like Summer, for example.
Summer sales.
Yes, Summer sales. Summer, I'm gonna start using my hands a lot, and I'm gonna talk in a weird way to express my thoughts and feelings. Yeah, so I think she's gonna get along with Summer. You can see that they're kind of they're gonna bounce off each other, like spiritually, especially. So,
yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so Jessica, not a ton to go off with so far, but we know a little bit. Let's talk about our second overall pick, Josh Nash. Who? Let's just find his photo here.
2 first names.
Josh Nash is a 28-year-old pediatric resident. He's a doctor in training from Vancouver. He has 11 siblings, and he knows a thing or two about sharing a house with many personalities.
Jeez.
He will have no problem being a team player and creating strong alliances until he needs to break off all ties and fly solo to the end.
No. He's going to be a hot mess.
Jeff, are you sad you didn't get a chance to pick Josh Nash?
Most of these people, I'm not sad. I'm only, honestly, I'm between two people that I've actually kind of studied, and neither of them have been picked. So,
I'll give people a hint of who I'm pulling for. So I'll get in frame. Now, if you understand that, you'll know who I'm going to pick when I draft.
I don't understand it, so
you don't understand it, but the community out there, I'm feeling them, and they're feeling me. So
Okay, so Josh Nash seems like a handsome-looking guy. Seems, he might, being a doctor, he might. I don't know if he's single or not. It doesn't say here in his bio. Did you, Jaemeel? Do you know anything more about Josh? I
think he was No Man's. If I
remember
No Man's?
Correctly,
I think
he's going No Man's. Operation No Man's, like Xavier.
But a lot of times people, you see how well that went for Xavier, right?
Sort of.
Operation No Man's.
Yeah. That didn't particularly happen up in Alyssa's crack. Butt crack, mind you, butt crack. Let's be PG.
I'm just upset.
Yeah, of course. We understand, Alyssa. Okay, so those are our first two house guests, Josh and Jessica, which puts the ball in Jeff's court as he has to pick somebody of this cast. And Jeff,
I think I know who I'm gonna take.
Who are you eyeing right now from this cast?
I'm gonna take Marty.
Jeff is going to take Marty. Let's just find Marty here. Where is Marty? Marty Frenette from a 43-year-old from Petit Rocher, New Brunswick. Let's bring up Marty here. Where is he? Sorry, guys, I have to find the photo.
He seems like he's a family man. He seems like he's got a good personality. He's going to get along with people. A lot of these people are going to have big egos. I think he's going to be able to get out of the way of them and just kind of like, and Big Brother Canada, the old guy doesn't get taken out right away. It's a bit better. It's not like the American version, so I find, I think he's a good pick here.
Okay, it very depends on who he like initially connects with. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised. We have another individual from Quebec as well, and
Marty's not from Quebec.
I know, but like she probably speaks French too.
But he's an East Coaster, so he might connect with the Halifax guy.
True. So do you have a 3-way of connectivity? Can we see a somewhat Beast Coast alliance?
I could see
Beast Coast, Jeff. Yeah, that's this kind of stuff we say in Big Brother Canada, because we've got the East Coast and then the Beast Coast Alliance.
I like it. So yeah, Martin Frenette is my pick.
Yeah, at 43, he's not drastically older than me, but he is the oldest person in the house. He calls himself a cool dad and a nice guy, but don't let him fool you as a fraud investigator. Ooh. He will be able to sniff out the liars in the house.
I think that's probably true. All he deals with is having to deal with people who are trying to lie to him all day. That's a good job to come into the house with.
Oh yeah,
right.
I like that.
Okay, so we have Jeff's pick. Jane is next in the draft. I don't know if I hear the tub running, so I don't know how quickly we're going to get Jane's pick. But yeah, so 3 are off the board.
Okay.
If Jane,
I love this.
Jane,
Run to the tub, dude. Run to the tub.
Okay, hold on. You guys talk about Marty for a second. I'm going to ask Jane if she's.
Well, here's the deal with Marty.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come across as like, oh, like the lovable French guy. He's different. Let's not get rid of him. I think let's keep him around just because he's kind of fun, and then he's going to kind of sneak under the radar a little bit. And that's kind of what.
He's the type of person that's going to win the first week HOH. So I think he's going to put a lot of groundwork in. He's already stated that he plans to try his best and gun for every comp. He wants to be known as a comp beast. And, sometimes there is a lot of carnival games, but winning can also come down to effort. Yep. And if he already has the will to kind of succeed and aim to succeed, that puts a lot of power in his pocket, right? So I wish him well. I think it's a good choice. Good choice.
So
we have our fourth pick. Jane has taken Herman.
Oh God,
Herman Nizhki.
It doesn't matter. I couldn't understand. I watched his video and I was like, no, there's everything about him. No. I would want to evict this guy if I was in the house. He's just too much energy, not for me.
Okay, let's get this shot of Herman here. Because I don't know everything about these people yet. Okay, so Herman Nizhki. How would you say this name? Nizghai.
Just go with it, Nizhki. You say it confidently. Nizhki. There you
Nizhki. Okay. So anyway, he is a 29-year-old auto sales general manager from Nanaimo, BC. Quite a bit of BC representation in these in our first 4 picks. 3 of them have been from BC.
Which is great because then you won't hear that many people just complaining about, wow, there's so many people from Ontario.
No, well, actually, there's a lot of people from all over the country. Last season, we had nobody from Quebec, as I recall, and we have at least 2 of them, I think, in this season. Plus, we have Marty Frenette, who's a French Canadian from New Brunswick. Yeah. Okay. So Herman, and so Jeff, you said you watched this guy's video.
Yes, he's got a lot of energy. He runs at the camera. He's like, I got cars to sell you. I got muscles. I'm 29 years old. I'm very successful. I'm a great salesman. It's just like, okay, buddy, like
sacrificial lamb.
Let's take it down a notch.
Sacrificial lamb. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the first one out. Sorry, Jane.
Well, what do you think? What do you think of this vest, though? He looks pretty dapper in this suit.
Look, he's not wearing that on. He's not coming into the house wearing that.
Yeah, and he's no Marty Frenette, and so I don't know who he thinks he is. But at the same time, I don't know. I just think, just from his like video, and maybe like they're deceiving your videos. Maybe it's not truly who you are, and that often happens. But people who brag about how much money they make, or immediately people, I'm like, all right, I don't want to live around you. Okay, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I agree. This is not the show to be boasting about how much money you make, especially when you know that Canada has a hand in voting for you. Mm-hmm. It's a bad look and just a bad kind of strategy. It already tells you what your kind of thought process is, and it's not a winning one.
But he describes himself as funny, magnetic, and one of a kind, Jaemeel.
He thinks he's funny, magnetic, and one of a kind.
Yeah, people are allowed to say that about you. You're not allowed to say that about yourself.
Yeah.
Right. All 3 of those things.
He knows how to light up a room.
he thinks he lights up a room,
Right.
but what he's probably doing is taking a conversation and throwing gasoline on it.
His promise, though, is to stand by his morals and never quit. That will take him to the top.
He won't have to quit. He's going to be gone very quickly.
Yeah. He's kind of reminds me of Adam a little bit. He's got a bit of Adam vibe to him. Just high energy, loves money. Yeah.
I just don't see him vibing with this cast.
Okay. I know who I'm taking, guys.
Who are you taking?
I'm sure he will not. I'm going to reveal it through the photo. My pick.
Don't take mine.
Is Tanisha White.
Okay.
Tanisha. Okay.
Tanisha White. So she's a 32-year-old model from Montreal, Quebec. Let's just pull her up here. Yeah, and so I don't know. I love this dress.
Okay, that's not a good reason. Okay,
It's so you, Dave.
Look at this dress. It's great.
It is a great dress, but she's not wearing that same dress on the show.
Well, she might. Okay, she's here representing all the single mothers of the world.
All of them?
All of them. She's here to represent for all of them.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. You know, I think she's got a lot of power behind her in this way, you know. Yeah, Tanisha, and she has a je ne sais quoi energy, she says.
What does that mean? Does that mean like why not do it?
No, it means like you can't really describe it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, like I don't know what is what it translates to. And you know, it's like so she just has like sort of
it factor
like a charisma. A charisma,
that's what she thinks. Very striking. But there's a lot of individuals here who are not really interested in romance. It's going to come down a lot to interpersonal relationships, and she's going to have to show that she has the skills to succeed.
See, when I see her, my impression of her is like people are going to want to work with her. You know, I think she seems very friendly, approachable. I think that the fact that she's, I don't know, she's got that je ne sais quoi, you know?
I don't know. I feel like she's a little naive, like, as far as like, strategy. Like, I mean, I know she said she watched the show and stuff with their kid, but like, I don't know. I don't see a gamer here. I see somebody that's like going to be like, you know, a fun person to be around in the house, but won't really have their head in the game. That's kind of how I see her.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I can't disagree because we're going off so little at this point.
Right.
But you know, it's first impressions. That's kind of like the thing about these drafts and these cast previews. We're kind of like we're going off very little information. You know, a video, a short little bio, and just a photo, right? You know, so it's like, what can you take from that? We can be dead wrong about people, but you know, it's.
I can't wait to be dead wrong about like it's fun, right? It's fun. All it is just it is a basic kind of. You know, a first impression that these individuals have given us, and that's what we're basing our opinion and our draft order on.
Yeah, we have no idea how they're actually going to play in the game, and I could be totally wrong about everyone I've said. I mean, Marty could go home first.
No, I think what you
Marty's
have to
not
do
going home first.
I think what you have to do sometimes is just like anticipate, like I guess who is going to work with who. You know, as much as you can try to like predict that based on like. People tend to work with people that remind them of themselves, right? You know, so they'll, you know, whoever, whatever that might be. If they have things in common, you know, if they're Instagram models, or if they're they have like a certain age, or there's a showmance involved, or whatever, right? We you know, we've seen this season over season, and I think like you know, there's strength in numbers in this game, and I see like a player like Tanisha being someone that, you know, they'd want to include in their numbers potentially. Of course, comp threats are always the most important. Now, Amanda has the next pick, so I don't know if she's ready or not.
Hey, Jeff, why don't you scream for her?
Yeah,
that works.
Yeah, I'll wake her up and the baby.
Yeah,
and I think that might go over really well.
If she's not able to make her pick, we can we can definitely skip it, but we can just pick whoever's next alphabetically or something in the cast and just move on to them next.
Did she tell you who? Did she tell you who she was interested in?
No.
All right.
Okay. Well, we'll give it another second, and then we'll move on to whoever is who, like I said, is alphabetically next, which I guess would be Betty.
Yep, Betty.
All right, I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we'll move it along.
We got to move it along because we got
Move it
dinner.
along here, Dave.
Okay.
This person is. I'm surprised you didn't pick this person because she works in the same field as you.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Betty. Betty Ursa, a 31-year-old human resource manager from Edmonton. So she kind of works in the same field, but she's
I thought she worked for a nonprofit.
But yeah, she's in HR, so different. Maybe the same
That's not what I meant by field.
Does she really work?
HR.
I joke.
I
I joke.
I mean, yeah, well, that's true. But yeah, she works for a nonprofit. That's what I meant. Not that she's HR.
Yeah. Okay. So she works for the same kind of company, but not the same kind of department. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right. All right. So Betty's she may be kind and free spirited, but watch out for her feisty side.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me.
She's feisty. She looks really short. How tall do you think Betty is?
Not much stats provided, unfortunately.
No, very little. Like I said, we're going off a photo and a couple of very few details. She seems friendly. Like, I think to be in HR, most people in HR are typically people, because that's the nature of it. Well, I know. Yes, I know what you're saying.
In my experience, it can.
They also get ruthless.
It kind of. Well, I don't know what to say. She has. I think her style is nice in terms of her photo. Her impressions from her video didn't really provide me a spark that kind of compelled me to put her on my short list of choices. But you never know. So
this will not be in a pick of mine. No, not for me.
Okay.
Just not. I don't think she's gonna win. So not. To me, I have to pick somebody that I think is gonna win.
No Vegas odds on Betty for Jeff.
Yeah.
Or I guess
there's nothing that really kind of no that makes me want to root for this person. Not to say that she's a good person or bad person. I just wish there was a little bit more that was portrayed via her blurb or even her video.
Yeah, not a lot to go on, but I don't know. I got a vibe. I don't know if it's a good one from Betty. Okay, let's move on to our next house guest, which I guess would be Gino. Stephen Gino Giannopoulos from a 28-year-old firefighter from Laval, Quebec. So Gino, as he likes to be called, even though his real name is what? Stephen?
It's because he's Giannopoulos.
Gino Giannopoulos.
Giannopoulos.
Giannopoulos. Okay. He's a self-proclaimed lover. He's a and then he's going to be sure to charm all the house guests. But his strong mental and physical game, inspired by his job as a firefighter, will make him unstoppable.
He probably will beast out a bunch of competitions. That is, I can see that.
Yeah, but unless he gets in good, carnival game will kill him.
Carnival game. Now, I think, yeah, like this is somebody I could see a lot of the house guests wanting to work with because they might see him as a potential to win. We'll see if that's true, but he's a firefighter, so he's able-bodied, and on some level, he's got a lot of tattoos here too. I don't know, not that I'm judging. I just,
not that I'm judging, but I kind of am judging.
Well, I'm not, just because I said he has tattoos doesn't mean I'm judging him. But he's got tattoos.
Yeah.
And
him and Melina are probably going to have a a lot of conversations about what does this mean, what does that mean, as both of them are heavily inked.
And Melina's an artist.
Yep.
Okay, so Jeff, what do you think? If you had to put some odds on Gino, what do you think are his chances?
I think if he gets in like the Pretty Person Alliance, he'll do fine. But that's if a Pretty Person Alliance forms.
In Canada,
yeah, it doesn't always
Kinda.
form me. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It does sometimes, but it doesn't always. But if he's in the Pretty Person Alliance, he could do well.
I could see that happening. Now, one last question for Jaemeel. Jaemeel, what is going on with the sock situation here? There's no socks on Gino. Much like with sorry, I'm trying to remember their names from last season, our final two last season, with Tashawn, and Jedson.
This isn't good because you don't wear socks in your shoes. I don't care how clean your feet are; they're gonna smell eventually. I want to live around somebody with some sticky feet,
and you're gonna ruin those shoes sooner.
Well, that too.
Okay. I know it's a style. I hate it. I hate it. If I'm wearing shoes, I'm wearing socks. That's just
It's
it.
like does he wear socks while he wears
Or
sandals?
he might have the ankle socks, which I hate as much. I hate just as much.
At least you're wearing a sock.
It's still I hate ankle socks.
It's not a good style.
They're showing off the ankles.
Why? It's not sexy. Like, I don't get it.
I
Like,
don't
it's
know,
not practical.
That's what these kids are into these days, Jeff. I don't know.
These
Old
kids.
They're going back to the 1920s.
He's like 2 years younger than you. Or
showing
something,
some
right?
ankle. Showing some ankle.
Ooh, ankle.
All right, let's get that ankle off. It's too promiscuous. Okay, who is the next slide we have here is Helena. Let's bring up Helena in the yellow dress. Helena is a 27-year-old master's student from Surrey, British Columbia. She is ready to be the friend, therapist, whoever needs her, whatever you need her to be. She plans to get the house guest to fall in love with her, but she isn't afraid of being cutthroat when needed. Okay.
They gotta do better with these intro videos. I have to be honest. Like, they literally use the most generic descriptive words. They're like, I'm a disaster. I'm clumsy. I'm, like, these are just very generic. Like, this really doesn't.
Jeff is just going to keep getting worse. I'm a mammal, 2 legs, hair with eyes.
I cry, I smile, I go through all the emotions in a day. Like, that's basically
sometimes I
in my
bathe.
mouth.
Yeah, brush my teeth. Whatever else is going on. Yeah, so they all they just want people to like them, really. I think that's why you get a lot of these things.
It doesn't do a good job.
No.
Right.
Because liking or hating someone shows at least passion. Indifference is absolutely the worst thing that you can have.
Right.
What
do we know what Helena's master's is in? What she's taking her master's in, or is that still unknown? I would imagine it's not on the global site. So, but Helena seems like like obviously she's smart. She's pretty, but many of these house guests are pretty.
Dave, is there any uggos in this cast? If we're gonna
who's the uggo? Well,
oh really? You're gonna say okay?
I wouldn't say anybody's hideous.
Hideous. They might get cabbage thrown at them in the house. No.
Like some are better looking than others.
Well, you find personally.
Well, yeah, of course, I'm the one saying it, but
I mean, I feel like also with this girl, she has like a punching bag in her basement, and they were like, "Hey, you probably never hit that." They're like, "Put on your gloves," and just like she literally just like hits it like, ugh. And it's like, okay, you can make it look a little bit cooler than that. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Like there's no straight shots. No.
There's a couple, but not
no jabs.
good. And I don't know. I'm more mad at the production staff than the house guests here. I just don't understand what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Jeff, you say that until it's your turn to be on the show. And it's like, I'm Jeff. I like curling. And then they don't even have you curling. They just have you like putting on like your shoes.
I would totally do that, but I would like wink at the camera. I would let the audience know
You could do
This is
everything
silly.
you want to. They can cut it a different way.
That's the
Right.
problem, right? Like they have. Cause this is what I mean. I'm not mad at the house guests.
Well, and
Like-
generally, I think production just wants, like everyone to like their house guests, especially to begin. They don't want anyone to be considered a villain or anything or not.
Oh, there is one guy that is definitely wants to be a villain.
Well, the guy who's going like this.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should go to him next. I don't know if he's next in our order. He's not, but let's bring him up. And the name in question, I have to just
Kevin Jacobs.
Kevin Jacobs, he's called. Now, Kevin Jacobs, 28 years old. He's a sales engineer.
He engineers the sales.
This is honestly the only, other than
From
my
Toronto.
boy Marty,
He's not from Toronto.
he's the only guy I felt is a good cast. I think this guy will be good TV.
It's why do you say he's not from Toronto, Jaemeel?
Because he didn't pronounce Toronto properly.
Oh,
I'm
That's-
from Toronto. Transplant. You're not
He's
from Toronto.
Yeah, it's from Toronto.
I wonder where he's from originally. He has a diabolical plan to lie, trick, and pit the other house guests against each other, all while still making them laugh. Well, that's a trick.
Yeah. Good luck, buddy.
For 20 years old, that hairline pulling back.
He looks
quite
like what? Didn't he look like the not Wheels from Degrassi? It looks like the principal from Degrassi: The Next Generation, especially with that sweater, bro. That sweater, that polo shirt.
Yeah, this shirt. Do you think he picked this shirt out, or do you think that was given to him?
I'm more concerned with the shoe choice. what is that about?
Yeah, I don't know. You were saying so and so was going to be the first one evicted.
No, he's week 2, dude.
I think
Yeah.
this. Oh, you were saying
Herman?
that Jane's pick Herman was sort of a lame duck, but I think that this guy is the lame duck.
No, Herman's a lame duck, and then he's week 2.
This guy's
Remember, Frenchie lasts 2 weeks.
right.
I
What do you
think
think
this guy's going to be such a train wreck that he's going to be good TV. That's how I feel about him.
I hope so. They love to throw like this one kind of like oddball into the cast always.
Victoria. A loose cannon.
A loose cannon. And we never in Big Brother Canada HML, we never, because they shut that season down, but there was that guy who was like he was
Jamar.
no, the guy who was like the brain
The
analyst,
mentalist.
the mentalist or whatever, right? How you had all these theories, and he was good TV too.
Yeah,
So,
it was full of shit. It was great.
yeah, he was just like this really out there kind of like almost like a Marty Robbins kind of a guy,
Yeah.
or something like that. But what do you think his diabolical plan is, and why will it make them laugh?
He will tell them he plans to win, and that will make him laugh. Okay.
He's a little on the nose. He's I don't really understand. I think he's like one of these people that watch the show too much, but really once he gets in the house, I don't think he's gonna know how to play. I think like he's got to overthink everything and not really be able to be himself. That's what I think about this.
Yeah.
Who will be? He is like I don't know who's gonna work with him.
This is the problem with like super fans. Like, I was speaking to you, speaking to me, but at the end of the day, when it's time to play the game is people aren't chess pieces, and you can't think of it that way. That's why people who have good social games or don't know the game and just interact with people as people are able to get a little bit of a leg up, because people can trust that there's minimal ulterior motives that they're coming with when they're discussing things, when they're talking about things. I don't know if this guy's talking to me from what I've been presented so far. I'll be like, okay, there's 2 lies, 1 truth in everything that he's saying, right? And he's trying too hard, even when he doesn't appear to be trying. Like he's trying to find an angle. Yeah,
and stuff. But I think he's going to be fun because he's going to be like, I don't know. He's either going to get the dodo music in DR because he's like thinks he's got this master plan and it's working and everyone sees through him, or he's going to try. He's going to have some sort of a decent arc where he's like maybe fooling 1 or 2 people, or it like turns on an alliance. I could see that happening to him too.
I could also see him being like a Johnny Mac, even, or something like that. If we're lucky.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Johnny Mac?
Yeah, well, that's a lot to live up to. Okay, let's move on to I'm kind of all out of order here, but now, when we were going through in the alphabetical order, the next would have been Jacey-Lynne. So Jacey-Lynne Graham, a 24-year-old social media manager from Thunder Bay. What social media is she running up there in Thunder Bay?
You don't need to be local, or you can run it from home.
Well, I know, but okay, maybe she's running a huge brand up there in Thunder Bay, but maybe not. That we don't know. What does she say her in a bio? She is an undercover comp beast.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
I bet she looks like she was probably an athlete, right?
She's a figure skater.
Figure skater?
Yeah.
All right. She like Mariah?
Yeah, and she'll do as well as Mariah.
Moran.
Moran, yeah. Jacey-Lynne will reveal her athletic side when the time is right, and if it works for her game, a showmance could be in the cards. So she's looking for love. I could see her going after Gino.
Maybe. I don't care about the showmances. Here's the thing: if you're there for love, you're not there to win. And I'm not gonna draft you.
But Jeff, we know that like showmances can go to the final two. Like we know that it can be a strong.
The ones that do are the ones that end up in long-term relationships, like Rachel Riley and Brendan or whatever his face was, Jeff and Jordan,
not Mickey and what's her name?
Well, Christmas in Memphis.
Christmas in Memphis, like the ones that end up in long-term relationships, those ones work out, but. If you're just there to like hook up, that's when you get Austin, and you get, you get.
Remember Nicole Franzel in her season? She wanted
Franzel and Hayden. Yes, exactly.
She wanted that big tall guy the whole season, and then she ended up with Victor.
She totally crushed him. Look, having a showmance is not necessarily bad. You just need to know when to cut it, and if you get caught with your butt hanging out, not going to be good for you, because you're going to be the one who's get got. So
keep your butt in your pants, Jacey-Lynne. Yes. Do you think that? Okay, the other thing about Jacey is I can't. It's hard to tell with these photos and everything else, but my guess is that she's like the shortest person we have here.
No, she's probably second shortest, with the one from BC being the shortest. She's probably what, 5'4".
Yeah, she doesn't look very tall.
She's gonna go after Josh Nash. That's what's gonna happen.
You think she's going up because he's the doctor?
Yeah, and I think Jameel's right that Gino and Helena. No, Melina. Sorry, Melina they'll be a thing too.
The only thing that can cause her trouble, I think, is if she has the mentality that she's going to be open for showmance and she doesn't initially hook up with one. That's going to hurt her. She's going to like, well, why not me? And other people are hooking up.
It's all about what I think with these showmances, when you get like these young single and ready to mingle types, and they're all kind of like who's going to end up with who flirts with who. That's often like in both American and the Canadian versions, you see this, right? Then that often shakes out into alliances for many weeks.
Does that make the show better? Like, does the fact that there's like the sexual tensions, like, does that make the show? Like, I find it unnecessary. Like, I think it's better when they're like, you get an all-star season and there's none of that really going to happen, and it's just you can focus more on the gameplay and less about like, oh, this person's with this person and they're.
I think it adds something, because I think like just coming off the Celebrity Big Brother 3, like we did, which was a much older cast who was playing, most of them already have relationships. There isn't like that potential for romance in those kinds of seasons as much. And in these kinds of seasons, you get like a lot of alliances are built upon that. It's a bit frustrating if you like, let's say you're Marty and you go into this house and you're not looking for love here. You're just you're 43 years old and you just want to play. You still have to navigate yourself around all these 20 somethings who are hooking up and trying and making goo eyes at each other. And I don't know. Does it make it better or worse? I don't know. I think it's just the human condition. It's just what it is, you know. It's
Jeff, people are going to be bad regardless of if they're a relationship or not. Now, we've seen in the past where duos have kind of been able to, you know, keep themselves in check, or even parts of the duo has been able to keep themselves in check while in a showmance, right? So while the other one might be absolutely infatuated, the other one is putting in work, right? Like, look at like Dane and company, and you know, they were putting in work while still maintaining pretty strong relationships with you know, various individuals, right? So
right. No,
all
Dane
the
was.
other
I just find like between Big Brother and like say Survivor, right? Like Survivor's had its showmances, but it's not every season. It's not expected. You know, it kind of happens like by accident. Whereas
older cast.
yes and no. Like there is times like when they did Millennials versus Gen X or whatever, and like there was one kind of like little showmance thing happening. That's the last time I can remember showmance on Survivor. You know, like it just doesn't really happen because one, like they're stinky, and like, you know, I get it, they're out in the middle of nowhere, and like, you know, but at the same time, I don't know. I find it better to focus on the actual strategy of the game and the interpersonal relationships that don't really have to do with romance, because like, I mean, I get the intrigue. People like to watch romance. I just don't, you know. So like, I just kind of have to like get past it most of the time. Where I'm like, okay.
Well,
right.
I think a lot of it has to do too, just like with the nature of how Big Brother is versus Survivor, because Big Brother is all about who has power and, you know, and who gets to put those nominations and or vetoes and, you know, things up. Whereas in Survivor, it's all about, you know, majority rules, right? So it's all about what the collective tribe wants. And so I think showmances are a lot less of a good idea in Survivor, right? But in Big Brother, if you're like, you know, like I'm gonna cozy up to this guy who I think is really athletic and he's gonna win a bunch of competitions, and him or his allies will keep me safe. You know, I think that's it's maybe not the most entertaining thing to watch, but I think it's smart. I think it's the right thing to do if you're, you know, depending on who you are in the game.
Dave, I think that would be 100% your strategy. Find the strongest male and cozy up to him.
I think that is like the prevailing thing we're seeing like season after season, is that you have to you know, I think women can also be very good at comps, but I think
Misha just showed that.
Yes, yeah, like you get like a Misha or somebody who is just super competitive. But generally you see this more in men than in women. So it's, you know, it's all over the place. And you know that these competitions they try to make them somewhat random, that anybody could win them on a given day, you know, depending if it's a puzzle or if it's a what is the nature of it. You know, sometimes it's just like who can run up and down a thing faster, or who has more cardio or whatever. But that's why I like the mixing up. Okay, let's move on to the next house guest. Jay. We got Jay Northcott, a 28-year-old theater director from Toronto, as you would say, Jaemeel. He's got no problem commanding a room and taking charge.
Yeah, he's they, them, there.
They.
Oh, non-binary?
Well, they is they, them, there. I shouldn't say he.
They. Yeah. They. Pronouns.
Okay. Get off my back.
I'm just making sure you knew.
I heard you 4 times.
Sorry. You just
go on.
It's going to be confusing. See, this is the exact problem with this. Like with him in the house, I think it's going to be tough for him at first. Or they, sorry, damn. See, it's tough for me. Dude, on a podcast show.
So here's the thing. A lot of times people overthink when they hear about it the first time. Don't worry about it, right? It's not something that you're used to, and I'm pretty sure they will say, hey, it's okay, take a breath, Dave, and just go on, right? And you know, you'll try, you'll fail sometimes. It's not something that's normal, right? For you in your everyday life.
Exactly.
I'm not as practiced with it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But in a Big Brother house, it's going to be difficult.
It is not. With this cast, it's I'm looking at a lot of these people in their videos, extremely progressive, I think this is like it's gonna be like nothing. It's gonna be
Right.
nothing.
Okay.
There was another non-binary player a couple seasons ago, and it got a little bit confusing sometimes in diary rooms because when other house guests were describing them, they'd be like, "They are doing this, them or they are them," and I'm like, "Are you talking about an alliance? Are you talking about a group of people?"
So
You
that's
know?
confusing for you.
It's
They should
always
just say the
confusing.
person's name.
That would help.
It's better. Yeah. So Jay.
Yeah, just say Jay.
Jay is I would have to in the diary room because I confuse myself because I always I agree with Dave. I'm always thinking it's plural, So I'm like, am I talking about a group of people? And then I just I don't know. Mine screws you a little bit, but anyway.
So they are looking to use their leadership skills and acting chops to play the lead role in the house, looking to be a mastermind.
Jay. Masterminds. When people say that they're trying to be a mastermind, it rarely works out. And we already mentioned it with Kevin already. Once again, a lot of things form organically. So hopefully Jay has a good improv skills to be able to pivot appropriately with the cast included there. I think, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of progressive people. And initially, whenever someone enters the house, whenever someone sees someone who is eccentric, then there's a lot of a gravitational pull to learn more about these individuals. So you'll see Melina and Gino and Summer
Jay and Jessica
and
are
Jessica
be,
gravitate to Jay to kind of learn more about them. So
Jay is cleansing himself in incense. Or sorry, they self
Themselves.
see themselves. All right. This is difficult. All right. And I think with Jessica's tarot cards, you're gonna get a bond there.
Right.
Or they're like oil and water. Because sometimes like you have, let's say there's 3 people on a spectrum, and you'll see individuals kind of like, oh, we have a lot of things in common, and we'll gel well. And then there's another person who also has things in common. It's like, oh, it's them. All right. And it could just be something that just turns them off. They're so closely aligned. It kind of, there's like an opposite reaction where there's just pushback. Because you don't want to cluster too many people with similar interests together, because then it really stands out.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know why, but from Jay, I get a real like Montreal, Quebec vibe for some reason, but I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the hearts all over the shirt.
I kind of agree. Like he definitely has like the French joie de vivre, if you will.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Jean Le Joie.
Oh, I think I keep screwing it up.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Jeff.
One day we'll get there.
One day.
Okay, so then after Jay, we talked about Jessica, we talked about Josh, we talked about Kevin already. So then I guess the next we would like to talk about is Kyle.
Oh no.
Did you have somebody in mind?
No, Kyle. Kyle is fine. Does everyone know the story about Kyle Moore?
What's the story? Oh, is he the one who was supposed to be on?
No, Kyle Moore. Okay, so what happened is when they announced last year's BB9 cast, there was a Kyle Moore, and there wasn't a picture. There was a little brief information. So people searched him online and was messaging him saying, "Oh, congratulations! I didn't know you were on Big Brother." And then he woke up to the news. He's like, "That isn't me." Right?
Yeah, because that Kyle Moore was from Alberta.
Correct. So hilariously enough, BBCAN has brought Kyle Moore 2.0, right? The
East
Kyle,
Coast edition.
The Kyle we deserved, right? Not the Kyle that was canceled last year. Because the other one was a hockey player, remember?
Yeah, I remember Kyle. I don't even. Do I have any? No, I have no sound clips from him.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the show. Remember, he got replaced by the dude that who teamed up with the Roe show. Oh,
so are you saying that the guy who got kicked out for being a bad dude was that guy? Okay,
Kyle Moore.
Yeah, that was Kyle Moore. I thought Kyle Moore was the replacement.
No, that what was Roe show's partner? wasn't Kyle. It was another dude.
I'll figure it out in a second. One second.
He was the one who does the Big Brother camping reenactments or whatever.
Yeah, the big lumberjack guy.
Yeah, lumberjack
from Big
this
Brother
is
Canada.
This is the Kyle Moore that was promised. The one that in the ancient text foretold is coming.
No, you got you're the original guy was Ethan Quantz.
Sorry.
That's who was supposed to play, but there was a Kyle Moore last year. That's the guy who played with Rocho.
Yeah, I didn't like that Kyle Moore either.
So he was 26 years old.
I think this guy views himself the wrong way. Like I'm watching his video and he's like hanging off like a rock climbing thing and he's running up Citadel Hill, Dave, and he's like, I don't see how anyone's gonna be intimidated by me. I'm only 6'5" all day and super ripped, and I mean I have a podcast. I mean, how is that intimidating?
Right, he's a podcaster like us.
Yes, we're each 6'5" and climb stairs and are super ripped.
I can climb stairs.
Oh yeah, I can do it. I'm sure. I can run up Citadel Hill. I've done it. I ran out of breath.
Yeah.
By the time I got to the top.
He has an interesting story. He's gonna get in.
He says his approach to the game is like chess, and he plans to upend the board as soon as he enters the house. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That's just like
no.
Because they're not actual pieces. There's no board. You're dealing with 15 other people.
We already established this earlier in the podcast.
Yes.
But how can you not love that smile? Come on, look at this guy.
I don't like this guy.
I wonder if he has flat feet.
He's given the East Coast not a good name for. I think he's given podcasters a bad name.
What did he do? He ran up the hill?
He's looking at people like chessboards, and he just doesn't have any self-awareness. I think it's going to be not a good time for Kyle in this house. That's
right. This guy is definitely getting in a showmance. I bet you.
Probably.
I don't think so.
I could see him going after someone like Jacey-Lynne or something like that. They're almost the same age. Okay, Kyle.
Maybe Stephanie Patterson. Can we move on to this
Stephanie
girl?
Patterson?
Yes.
Well, I guess I was going to go to Melina next, but
okay, we're going to do Melina.
Yeah, but okay, so we have 2 Kyle Moores though, Jaemeel, in 2 seasons.
Kyle Moore 2.0.
Kyle Moore 2.0.
I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. I like this outfit.
This is good look here. Okay, so we got Melina, the artist we mentioned earlier, also tattooed. No judgment.
I should draft her because of the pink pants.
Yeah, so Melina is also from Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. Did
Toronto.
she say it right?
No, you don't. Toronto.
I'm not from there. Okay. She lives with spontaneity and no rules. So watch out. This wild card will shake up the house with her dynamic personality and calculated strategy. They're all looking to be calculated.
Yeah. I feel like they're giving a script. They're like, say you're good at this and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, okay. The Americans do a better job with their intro packages, I find.
I think when they get on the show, that's when the personality will kind of
yes.
bloom.
They're
like, look, we're just doing this because we got to fill the details. Show's coming on. You got a week. We're already starting up the show. They're already in sequester.
7 of these 16 house guests claim to be from Toronto. That's a lot.
I know.
Plus a couple from generic Ontario, like Thunder Bay.
Generic Ontario. Wow.
Thunder Bay, the great Ontario city of Thunder Bay. And that's it, right? Actually, she's the only Ontarian who's not from the city.
Wait, no, isn't Jacey-Lynne from Thunder Bay?
She's the only one.
Oh, I thought. Okay.
Of the Ontarians, they're all from Toronto.
Oh, St. Catharines. There's.
Thunder Bay is basically Manitoba. That's not Ontario.
Who's from St. Catharines?
Summer.
Yeah, Summer's from St. Catharines.
It says Toronto on. Oh, so she's St.
She's
Catharines.
originally from Toronto, but she lives in St. Catharines.
I think we think that what's his name, that Kevin is from somewhere else, but he claims to be now from. I don't know.
Kevin's probably from London.
Are all these people actually from Toronto too? Or is it I actually live in Markham? You know, what is it?
or Richmond Hill or something like that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
could be. You know, like what people will say is Toronto or not is kind of ranges. As you know, Jameel's from there though, so he knows. He can.
I was born there, but I'm
you're
currently from the mean
you-
streets.
You're Bramptown.
Yeah, the mean streets of Brampton.
The main streets of Brampton. Okay, well, what else can we say about Melina? Is there anything else to note on her?
I wonder if she can do the splits. And that's a wrestling reference, not some kind of like freaky thing, because there's a wrestler named Melina.
Okay. There's something about her stare that is really like
Care Bear stare.
yeah, it's just getting to, I'm like if I was in the house with her, I'd be afraid of her. I
Why?
think. She's just got this stare like she's going to stare through my soul and she's going to like suck in my soul.
I think she'd
Dave?
be like interesting. Like
Dave, I would suggest that if you ever in that circumstance, go up to the person and start talking to them, because you need to eliminate that type of intimidation as soon as possible.
Okay, that's good advice. Okay, well, Melina, she's either super approachable and friendly or very intimidating.
Straight up, a lot of like, I find that people with tattoos, majority of the time, very approachable, right? At the very least, you have an immediate conversation starter with asking about the ink.
Right. Well, and you're right that her and Gino are likely going to have that in common, if only that, you know, to start off to have some kind of a conversation. You know, and she's an artist, so can talk about the
There's
stories.
people who get tattoos for a variety of reasons, whether it be religion, whatever. But there's something to say about individuals who get it where it is very visible on their person at all times. And that usually means they're very proud of what they have and it's very dear to them, in an outward expressive way that they want people to know. Now, if it was like a heart, you know, over here or on their shoulder, that's a little bit more for the individual itself, you know, or you know, by
a heart that says "mom" with an arrow through it.
No, well, not necessarily that, but this one is out there to be observed and to be absorbed.
She has a sandwich on her right arm. What is that? What is the significance of that?
Man, people love sandwiches. Sandwiches rule. Do you not like sandwiches?
I wouldn't put it on my arm.
Well, that's your level of commitment to sandwiches.
Right.
Melina,
Committed to
otherwise,
sandwiches.
she's all about those hoagies.
And it's not even it's a half-eaten sandwich too. Which
Yeah,
is there a deeper meaning? That's would be like my first question. Is there a deeper meaning behind the half-eaten sandwich?
Let me ask
She's
you
already
this.
taking that bite.
Sure, yeah, maybe it's the sandwich represents life, and I'm just taking a bite out of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
While we're talking about the Torontonians, and Jeff, maybe this is your spirit animal here, Moose.
Moose.
We got Moose Bendago, a 24-year-old content creator from the city. And what else can we learn about Moose? Seems fun. Moose's vibe I get is very like hippie-esque, I would say. He plans to be a gutsy player, trust his instincts, be loyal to his alliances, and his social game will put everyone under his spell. Oh, that's not a good one. So, yeah.
Trust his instinct. The vibes I'm getting. Trust my instincts. Work on my social game. My social game is the important part that I need to worry about. I'm going to be gutsy and I'm going to stick to my guns. He's saying a lot more than 99% of the cast is saying. Right? He's not saying he's going to be a mastermind, right? I have this master plan, you know, I'm going to impose my will. No, I'm going to trust my instincts. I'm going to stay loyal. Two constants in this game that you need to understand if you're going to do, right?
Right.
Yep. And be good at like, you know, competitions, which he's good at sports. Like, yeah, he's definitely, up there
I get like an Ethan Zahn almost vibe from this guy.
Yeah, I get to say, and it's like Ethan Zahn and McRae had a baby.
He was playing Big Brother Canada. Yeah, so Moose, I agree with you, Jimmy. I think Moose actually, you know, now that we're talking through all these house guests, I'm like, oh, maybe Moose would be worthy of drafting. And if Amanda doesn't take him, I have a feeling you're going to take him.
I'm definitely, if Amanda doesn't take him, I'm taking Moose. I'm calling my shot.
He was the other person I was going to pick if it wasn't going to be Marty.
Well,
And-
Marty, but it had to be Marty. Okay, so Moose. Okay, Moose got a lot of promise with Moose. After Moose, let's talk about Jeff. You wanted to talk about Stephanie. Let's move on to Stephanie.
Stephanie.
So Stephanie Patterson, 26 years old, child and youth worker, also from Toronto. And she is what
That pose looks like it hurts.
It does. It's very like not good on her spine.
It doesn't seem relaxed like the other women do. It seems very
Yeah, this is another
forced.
person I would want out of the house quickly, just because she's like the type of personality I think that is just too much.
It says it's an over the top. She's an over the top personality.
Yes, and she's like a clubber and a partier all the time, and I'm just like,
oh, this is the new Victoria.
Yeah, this is a bit like the new Victoria.
Well, maybe she'll she'll start up conversations with our pediatrician.
Right.
Our pediatric resident.
Yes.
Mr. Josh. Yeah. So
she's the last person you would think would be a child and youth worker. Like, but
was that also Victoria's job?
Was it?
She
was
was
social service worker or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not what you picture when you think, like, I would imagine she would like work on a cruise or something. I don't know. Like, she just seems like a party person, not like somebody that's like gonna be like helping out kids. I don't know.
Maybe she's all about that Wi-Fi, work hard, play hard,
I think that is actually what she's pretty much is all about, is the work hard, play hard type
Yeah.
idea, which means she might do okay, actually, because if she treats the game like work, she'll do well.
Yeah, she says she wants to be that shoulder to cry on. She wants to be everyone's best friend, and she'll use those secrets they tell her against them. That's not a good strategy.
Strategy.
That's a good way for getting people not to trust you quickly. Okay, yeah, Stephanie. I don't get like a super strong vibe from her. Right off the, just based on what we're saying and going through.
She looks like she's in shape. She's about 5'7". 5'7".
Hard to tell. But yeah, like she doesn't seem as short as some of the others. But she's wearing like 6-inch heels, so it's a little bit.
She literally says in her video, if there's one thing I could ask Big Brother for, is a glass of wine and party all the time.
Oh, she's totally the Victoria of this season.
Which, you know what, for television's sake, I would not mind. Just a complete mess. When it comes to gameplay,
she's that girl.
She's that girl.
Yeah, when they give the house guests alcohol, she will be.
When she wins HOH, she's gonna say, "Call me the HBC."
Yeah,
I laughed more at that than I should have. Okay, Stephanie. Okay, and then after, I think we're getting through most of these now. I think we're just down to Summer. Let's talk about Summer. All right, so Summer Sales. Is this a real name? Summer Sales?
Hey, Summer, 1973 called. They want their outfit back.
Yeah, she's fun employed, Jaemeel. She's a fun employee from movies. Like, you're wearing the hat tonight, and she also, no, she's in St. Catharines, not Toronto.
St. Catharines, so.
25 years old, very young, actually, yeah. And what's her deal? Fun employee? What does that mean? Like, unemployed? She's unemployed.
She could be, or in between, opportunities.
Between jobs.
Yes.
Okay. She's coming to win, not to make friends. She's got
she makes lifelong friends.
Until she makes a lifelong friend. With a short temper while hangry, she is hoping to stay away from slop and keep focused on her vision of winning big. So she's not looking. The have-not prospect is daunting to her. I get that feeling from her.
Slop isn't that big of a deal for people. If you've had oatmeal, you'll be fine. It just sucks. It's the people who just intake so much calories, right? That are gonna really feel the pain.
If you're a gym rat, right, or whatever.
Yeah, like you can't. The amount that you would have to consume is just insane, and it just doesn't help, honestly. So like when people complain about slop, I think it's more in their head more than anything, and not being able to like have the common food that you're used to. But like these Big Brother Canada weeks especially, they're not that long when it comes
No.
to being a have not, and then someone's might take pity on you and have a Wendy's takeout meal as well. And the amount of times that they give away, like, oh, everyone's having a party, even the have-nots, like it isn't as daunting as it was before. So don't worry about slop.
Yeah. Summer is the last house guest we need to talk about. So she'll be the last here. But where do you think, if you had to guess, Jaemeel, where do you think Summer will go in the draft?
Probably near the middle, bottom middle. She doesn't really exude any type of, bee sting, but I think she turns some heads in terms of her social game.
I think this is Amanda will pick this player.
Right?
Why do you think she will?
Amanda likes sassy, strong women that can like stand up for themselves. She likes, I find, and she seems like that's the type of girl she is.
Yeah. She's going to be on each week and she's going to be like, hey, Ursa, let's have a fromance. She talked about in the video. Yeah, fromance. She talked about in the video. She's going to get along with Jessica and a lot of other individuals in the house. I think she's going to do well. Unless she's too gimmicked. If she's too gimmicked, I think people are going to not believe in her portrayal, right? Or think that it's a portrayal and want to not have her in the house.
Yeah,
I think she's gonna get in fights. She will get in fights with people in this house.
With our previous who was our previous one?
Stephanie.
Her and Stephanie.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I just see her wanting to tussle it up, just kind of conflict. I see that occurring now. I mean, she might come up on the right side of that conflict, but I see conflict occurring.
Like the feud we got last year, Jaemeel, with LaToya and Victoria, right? And there was,
Victoria and Tara.
Or Victoria and Tara, or there was a couple of them in there. Or even Victoria and Austin, right? When Austin and Braden went off. So
LaToya and Kyle too.
Yeah, LaToya and pretty much everybody. So
she's the new LaToya.
Well, possibly her, but I think there's a few potential LaToyas in this group. I'm wondering who. I think that they definitely cast somebody who will just be a super aggressive player who I think people initially will want to work with, but then after a couple of weeks they'll go, ugh, you're a little too much. You're a little too intense. You don't play. A lot of people like the slow and steady, reliable, somewhat boring game, and that tends to what holds true more often than not, I find. But anyway, okay, Summer.
Okay, so first thing we have to talk about is all the shows are somewhat symbiotic in terms of people reviewing what happened before and using it as the basis of what they do going forward. Not everyone, because obviously there's recruits with varying knowledge about Big Brother, but people are aware of what happens. So we've just come off Big Brother 23 and also Big Brother Celebrity 3, right? They were able to see at least the fallout for both of them. Not necessarily the finale for Big Brother Celebrity 3, but the fallout already occurred concerning Todrick, right? And talking poorly about individuals while in the house, right? At the same time, you have the elephant in the room in terms of the cookout. Do you see any of those elements playing a factor in Big Brother Canada 10?
Well, I think there's a good chance that there will be talk of that. I think it's presumed that we will. There's the potential of that, just like there's always let's get a women's alliance together because that the fans will love it, or some of the fans will like it.
So there's 5 African Canadian, I guess, people. Is that right? And then we have 2 Indian people, right? And then whatever Josh Nash is. I don't know what Josh Nash is.
Josh Nash.
They don't show nationality really, so you don't necessarily know.
Yeah, I don't know what Josh Nash.
I would guess him to be like South Pacific Asian, maybe, or something.
Because
I would imagine Spanish. You don't know with like the name like Josh Nash. There's nothing to go off.
Could be Filipino.
Yeah, like even Moose could be West Indian. You know, you don't know. So perception is reality, and do they perceive that there is a majority that could possibly be working together? And honestly, I think the elephant's gonna come into play pretty quickly, but I think a lot of people are gonna understand that it's probably not gonna happen here.
Yeah, I don't think it will because I do think they're very diverse, and I don't know. I think in America it's there's a bit more of a common bond, whereas in Canada, like everyone's kind of comes from like different backgrounds all the time, but I don't know, it's just a little bit different in Canada, I find.
What I've observed in not just in Survivor and Big Brother, since they've increased the diversity of the cast, which I think is overall a net positive thing to have like more diversity among the cast, but I think that there's something that if you're a minority and you're in that house and you're going, oh my God, there's only like 5 other white people here or 3 other white people here. We certainly can't let the white people win. We have to make sure, that somebody who's not white wins this. Because
the Todger Call philosophy.
Yeah. Well, it's
not really would rubber hit the road.
No, because he was working with Misha all the way through. Right?
He was responsible for like the minorities getting voted out.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I think it's almost like they feel like they a lot of them have to like live up to that, like that they're gonna have to answer for that on the outside. I don't know if that's true or not, but like
I don't think it's true, and the reason why is we've already seen success in Big Brother Canada in terms of like diversity performing well. As opposed
Sean
to
won last year, he was the first black winner, right? And so
but you have Gary Glitter who practically won season 1. Well, yeah, Topaz, right?
Yeah, right.
But when you think of like the BB legends, it isn't like for US it's Daniel Reyes and when it comes to African American, Marcellus, really, for all the wrong reasons, right? Usually people get voted out in the first couple of weeks, and that's what people were complaining about, that they get voted out early. Big Brother Canada doesn't necessarily have that issue.
No,
right?
No, I agree.
So therefore, there isn't the call to arms per se, as you see in Canada, right? Like, did people go, we need to get Kiefer out because we don't want someone like him getting to the end with his story?
I think it was kind of like he had a good story and he was also very likable, and like I think with Kiefer, but like I think at least this is what was said at the end here when ultimately Brayden chose to take Tashawn to the final 2 instead of Tara. Now this is partly because Tashawn romanced him and sweet talked him for all that time, but he was like,
you didn't want Tara, the underdog that the plucky underdog that wasn't supposed to be there. You wouldn't want her in the final 2 with you. No way.
No, because she fought her way to there, right?
Yeah.
And she even had to come right back into the house. So she had a good story too. But like that's what he said. He's like, I want to make sure there's the first black winner, and therefore we're taking the final 2 are both black men, and so they're and guaranteeing that, right? So there was a little bit of that in that season, but it not as much as it was like a part of Big Brother 23 USA.
Dave, do you think that if Brayden could have beat Tashawn, he would have taken him?
I think Brayden was wanted a romance. I think that he was in love partly with Tashawn, and that kind of clouded things and what he chose to do at the end. But
do you think though that if you think he could have won, because we knew that Brayden had no chance of winning, like did you think that if he was able to, like, if he had a stronger case for whatever reason that led up to that situation, that Deshaun would have taken him?
Yes, I think that I think that they were both rational. I don't think they necessarily were armed with that knowledge. But if they had that knowledge, yes, I think it's possible that Braden would have done something the smart thing.
You mean Deshaun?
Well, Deshaun, or was it Braden who took Deshaun or Deshaun who took Braden? I'm sorry.
Deshaun took Braden. Deshaun won the final HOH.
Oh, okay,
and
so that's
chose Braden over.
That's
Tara.
what Deshaun said to Tara.
Yeah.
When he evicted Tara, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that I think ultimately Deshaun was there to win, regardless of race or anything like that. He was so cold to Jetson, he's like, "Listen, man, like I don't care. Like I want to win the game. Like what are you talking about?" And like Jetson's like, "But isn't it like great if like you and I go to the final two?" He's like, "Not really. Like you might beat me, and therefore dumb. Like so why would I do that? But some house guests believe in like that kind of thing, and others don't. Others are just there to win for themselves, and the smart ones, if you will. And I think Deshaun
you could end up like woo,
woo,
and lose.
Look, woo. You need to come with me. You can't trust Cat.
Right. I think Deshaun. Well, it would have been interesting to see Deshaun and Jedson in the end if that had been the final two, but I think Deshaun still would have won. I think Deshaun was looking pretty good, actually. Even though he laid low for a lot of it. So we'll see if that kind of strategy is adopted. But who's good at competitions always is going to be the most important currency early in this game. I think, and then you build social on top of that. But
that's why I think Marty's a good choice to start off with, because if he's gunning for that first HOH and kind of establishes himself, that can be really good. He's not. If Kevin wins the first HOH, he's gonna totally Frenchie himself.
Yeah, like I think it's always best to be the first HOH. I think that the first HOH is almost always in a good position, unless you're playing like a Frenchie or even like
unless you're just a mess. Like
Suzette.
There's certain players like in this cast. Like I think if if Herman got the first HOH or Stephanie or like these big boisterous personalities, I don't think they're gonna do well.
It tends to go to their head. I don't think it cannot, because like you'll have 15 other people sucking up to you because they don't want to be the first one out, right? So
they're gonna have to lie to like a bunch of people or like piss off at least two people, and then they'll probably screw that up too. And then like if you can't control your first week and figure out what alliance you kind of want to work with, at least for a few weeks, that you have to do it quick. And if you don't do that, then your first HOH is you're going to be in trouble.
Okay. Fellas, I ask you, what are you hoping for this season?
I'm hoping for more of the same from last season, where we're going to get like the two sides of the house that are kind of going back and forth. I thought that was really interesting. Ultimately, like I would have liked more of a fight out of Austin and
the Rocho.
Yeah, and Braden and Rocho and Kyle, because they were supposed to be the resistance against like Tashawn and Jedson and Beth and that side. And then you had like Victoria playing the middle. And I think that's always like the best kind of big brother I want to see, is like kind of two alliances slugging it out. But ultimately, usually one of those alliances dominates the other. We never quite get like the great rivalry that we hope for. Usually somebody's gonna be the Faute to the level 6 alliance. Right?
Forgot about that season.
5 of us till the end.
Life put it out of my memory.
Will we get a go? Sorry, Jeff. What are you hoping for this season?
You know what, Big Brother Canada, just make me interested in your show. That's it.
Fair enough.
That's all I want.
You want a new theme song, Jeff?
Stop. Okay, I thought he was gonna play the theme song. That's why I was trying to preemptively stop.
A new theme song, or just that. I need AC to tone it down just a notch, and which isn't gonna happen, but that's what I want. And and the thing is, like with the overall like house. At some point, can we make the house a little smaller? It's too big.
It's a huge house. Yeah. Like it's so easy to go
shiny. I don't need it so shiny. It looks so super, like I feel like him and is like J.J. Abrams directing this. Why?
Right.
Like
Is this Star Trek 4? What's going on?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
I think that the house is very compared to the U.S. house, which is like almost
More
too
homey.
cramped. Yeah,
Yeah, but I like it, like, because it should be.
right.
Make these
Because like
people uncomfortable.
the whole like in Celebrity Big Brother, where what's his name, Lamar was talking to Todrick in the bathroom, and he was like, "Lower your voice, Lamar." He's like, "What? Huh? Are we making an alliance, Todrick?" And he's like, "Get your voice down. Get your voice down." Right? Where in the Big Brother Canada house, I feel like there are places you can go and never be heard at all.
but people are too dumb. Like when what was it? Tashawn and who was it? A whole bunch of them, Latoya, they were Jetson, they were talking at the table, and Victoria was like in the background sitting down, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we were talking about her, but you know,
oh right,
did she hear us?" And then you just see her in the background, yes, and they're like, "Yes, what?" It's like, "I heard you," and they're like, "Oh,
yeah. She was like laying right there on the couch, and they were trash talking her in the kitchen while they were eating their eggs. Yeah, I remember that.
It's like I can still hear you. It's like there are places where you can't be heard, but people are too dumb.
Yeah, well, if you're just like, you're not even looking around to see who's around before you talk, then hey, what's on you?
I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping for alliance names that don't make me embarrassed to be a part of the show, like the Sunsetters. You know,
Not bad.
It's a good name. Good name. Tripod is a terrible
Sunsetters for life.
For life.
Tripod sounds like a sexual position or something. I don't know.
Well, it was basically a throuple, so
right.
With the triangle.
Yeah. No, they call themselves the tripod, didn't they?
The isosceles triangle, aka the sauce, has been on fire in competitions lately.
I stand corrected. The sauce.
The isosceles triangle. The sauce.
Which is basically a tripod. I want rants. I want people yelling at each other. I want.
Do you know what? I have
for me. He knows it. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. After you play it, I have one thing I would actually like from this.
The man with the mullet, big gullet, bigger heart. Let's go.
Okay, I want some Todd Bridges energy in this house. Somebody has to not give an F about anything that's going on. Because there's too much. This is my one thing in Big Brother Canada, and the American show's guilty of it too. I'm not saying it's not, but everybody is just like, we're so happy to be here. This is amazing. Oh my god, we're doing like they're too into it. I need a little bit of
aggressive, like whatever.
I need some Lamar Todd Bridges energy. That's what I need.
You guys did not think that Todd Bridges came to play.
I want to see some Lamar energy, and he just rips the cards. Why'd you rip my cards for? He just rips it.
The one thing about LO, he does not lose.
LO, he does not lose.
He doesn't win either.
He comes third.
He's like in the middle.
He came fourth actually.
Fourth out
third
of
or fourth.
Yeah, not even on the podium.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey, I think there's a lot of potential here. We won't know until they get going, but Wednesday we'll be covering that. Now, Jaemeel, you can't join us Wednesday, right? So
I will race back, try to catch up to the episode, and come in the tail end, and try to see if I could drop some knowledge. But I have a date with the night, the Dark Knight.
Oh, Batman.
The sparkly Dark Knight.
Oh, yes. He's a very sparkling one. Okay, well, good luck with all that. Yes, absolutely. Batman is a it looks like to be a very good movie.
We'll see.
Out. So Jeff and I will be here on Wednesday to talk about the premiere of Big Brother Canada 10, following that airing on Global here in Canada. Also, you should check out our other content here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. Jeff and I, some time ago, we talked about Ozark at the beginning of season 4. They just announced today that the final 7 episodes will be released in April. And and so Jeff and I will be catching up on that and the finale of Ozark when that comes out. We also love to talk about Marvel over here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting. Most recently, we talked about the Hawkeye show that came out on Disney Plus, and I think Moon Knight is the next thing we'll be talking about. That will be the next MCU release.
He better call Dracula a fucking nerd.
Yeah, what? Where's my money, Dracula?
Where's our money?
They better put that in the show. Where is Dracula's not in the Avengers? So we'll be talking about that on Moon Knight, and then Doctor Strange is coming up in May. What else? We just finished talking about Celebrity Big Brother 3, as we mentioned a few times. Check that out. Survivor 20. What season's coming up? 42? Is that what's coming up? Survivor season 42, the most dangerous season ever. We'll be talking about that. That's premiering a week after Big Brother Canada 9. So we're gonna find a way to try to talk about that on top of Big Brother Canada. And what else? That's mostly it. Also, you should check out our other two channels. One's called Trivial Debates. It's a monthly show where we argue about movies, TV, sports, in like a game show format. It's on the last Sunday of every month, which was today. We did our most recent episode. Jeff was hosting this morning. Jaemeel was competing. We had Jody Simpson and we had Max Duda as well. I won't spoil the result, but you should go over to our Trivial Debates channel and check out that episode. It was a great one. A lot of different topics were debated. Also, we have Live Long in Podcast, our Star Trek themed channel, where we talk about Star Trek all the time. Monday nights, we do a rewatch series of Star Trek Enterprise, the one starring Scott Bakula. Tomorrow, we talk about the episode Sleeping Dogs, along with Jody Simpson, Adam Woodward, and Kevin Millard. Tuesday nights, we talk about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where we go through all of those episodes. We're now into season 5, and the episode this week is Let He Who Throws the First Stone or something. It's the Ryza episode. We're going to Ryza on Deep Space Nine this week. And then He Is Who Is Without Sin. That's the name of the episode that we're talking about on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we're going to be talking about Star Trek Discovery, season 4, episode 11, I think we're up to now. And that also Star Trek Picard is starting this week. Very exciting.
Who's on the Star Trek Discovery panel?
Michael Chan, Discovery Zone. Michael Chan, as he appeared in episode 8 of that show. We're all very excited and proud of him, and I hope to see his character again on Star Trek Discovery, and maybe on Star Trek Picard for all we know. Although he's from a different century. And then to celebrate the beginning of Star Trek Picard, our next installment of Star Trek Radio Theater, where we do script reads as the characters of Star Trek in like an audio drama kind of a format. We got Hiding Q coming up, which was an episode from 1987. That was in the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation. Our friend Jody Simpson playing Q. I'll be playing Picard. We got Steve Shives coming over from his YouTube channel. He's playing Riker, as he did with us in season 2 of Radio Theater. We got Discovery's own Michael Chan playing Data. His wife Jessica playing Tasha Yar. Jeff playing Geordie LaForge. We got our friend Mott being Worf, my wife Jane being Dr. Crusher, and Kevin being Wesley Crusher, with Ashley Millard narrating. So we're looking forward to bringing that to you next. This I guess will be just a few days from now, Saturday, March 5th at 9:30 p.m. And I think that's all of our podcasts. You should also check out my son, Eamon Mader. He's got a podcast called Let's Talk About Fighting Games. He does under his alias, Sam Jerka, which he also does with Sonic, Smash Bros. Seth, and Paranoia. They just released an episode on February 12th called The Start of Season 2, and they were talking BBCAN, I think, or something like that. So that's exciting. Also, Davin Skellhorn is our friend, and he's also Jeff and I's cousin out of Nova Scotia. He does his Star Trek podcast called Locutors of Trek. He does debates there. He does trivia. He does all kinds of fun things over on Locutors of Trek. Plus, he has X-Men, the animated series rewatch. I'm going to be on that this Tuesday to talk about whatever the first episode of season 2 was of that show.
Till Death Do Us Part? Maybe?
I think it is Till Death Do Us Part. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Oh my God. I got to block some of these comments here. And wow. And I'm putting that person in timeout. Oh, no, Star.
Oh, a great name. Wow.
Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah, block. blocked, as Kevin Smith would say. X-Men the animated series. Davin and Andre, the one he does that podcast with, they just interviewed Eric and Julia Lewald, who were the executive producers, co-creators of Star Trek the animated series. They did an 1.5-hour interview over on their channel. It was really fun, and I learned so many things about just how they developed that show. Really good podcast. Check that out over there as well. And like I said, I'll be there on Tuesday. Okay. That's it. I think we can go out with a bang here. And I know what we need to take us away.
Don't.
You know it.
Don't.
You know.
Don't.
All right. No, I know what you really want. I know what you really want. Okay, guys, we'll see you on Tuesday. But until then, we will,
And remember, someone is always watching.